What is up everybody, Tech Check here with the review of the LG G3. So first let's talk about quality and material. The G3 arrived well protected. The back of the G3 gives an impression that it has brushed metal look and feel. However, the back is just brushed plastic, which does an excellent job at imitating metal. The sides are made out of metal, and now going on to the buttons. This phone has rear-facing buttons which are surprisingly easy to adapt to. It only took me about a couple of days to get used to them. There are only 3 buttons that come with this phone: the volume up, volume down, and the sleep/wake button. I was able to find this one function in the settings that actually let you sleep and wake your phone just by double tapping on the screen. This proved to be very helpful, especially when checking notifications or time when the phone is flat on a surface. So back on track with the buttons, I kind of wished LG would really make that sleep/wake button stand out more, maybe by adding a rubberized coating so that it was easily distinguishable. The back of the G3 is not that prone to fingerprints. The front screen also stands up to its reputation and it attracts little fingerprints. One thing that the G3 performs bad at is how slippery the back is, due to the grip on the back of this device essentially being just non-existent. So now let me show you around the phone. So on the back we have the buttons as mentioned before. We also have the 13 megapixel OIS camera with a dual flash next to it. On the other side of the camera we have the laser autofocus sensor, which works perfectly when it decides to work. So before this phone received the Android L update, it was rocking KitKat. On Android KitKat, I was able to get some stunning photos with the laser autofocus. However, after this phone was updated, I started getting problems. I am led to believe that LG have just not bothered optimizing their camera app. So I actually installed a third-party camera application from Google, and as you can see, it still does not work, and the back camera does not want to focus. So the major Android L update was first available to me in early January. However, LG have not pushed out any fixes yet. So unless you do not want Android L, I would recommend you lay off this phone and maybe focus your attention on the flagships coming in the next few months that will certainly be fully compatible with Android L. Continuing on with the tour, on the back we have the 1-watt speaker, which for movie enthusiasts like me would be a big deal breaker. However, for the normal person who watches a few videos here and there, it should be totally fine. LG definitely take note from the HTC One M8's dual front-facing speakers. This brings us on to our next point, hashtag that bezel. LG have done an amazing job at keeping the side bezels that thin. They have also kept the chin and the top of this phone extremely sleek, keeping in mind that the top has 2 sensors and a camera that can take some good selfies and works fine, and also has a notification LED that changes color. Keeping all those factors thin results in a thick phone, and that is what we have here. Well, kind of. In thinness, the G3 definitely can't rival the iPhone 6 Plus, however is average and not too thick. Also, LG have opted for a round back, which is not that big of a difference than using a phone with a straight back. After time, you get used to it. One other thing to note is that the call quality on the G3 is fairly good. And finishing off the tour, we have the micro USB ports on the bottom of the device. So I must admit, me myself, I am a big spec head. So for the rest of the people that are kind of like me, here are the specs and benchmarks. You'll find the screen sporting a pixel density north of 500 pixels per inch, and the resolution of the screen is 2560 by 1440. Some of you people out there could be asking, are applications optimized to handle this resolution? And the answer is, availability is varied. For example, YouTube is optimized and you can watch some stunning videos in Quad HD. Also, the display is 5.5 inches big, So for the CPU, we have the quad-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 801 clocked at 2.46 GHz. And for graphics, we have the Adreno 330 clocked at 600 MHz. So there are two versions of this phone that you can get right now. The one I have here has 2 GB of RAM and 16 GB of onboard storage. However, the other version has 3 GB of RAM and 32 GB of onboard storage. The G3 has a 3000 mAh battery, which will definitely be enough and will power you through a whole day of usage. However, will not be enough for 2 days unless you only check notifications on your phone and email. I was doing roughly medium usage and the battery got to about 30% in 1 day. Of course, now it is time for the benchmark. So first we have 3D Mark, and the G3 score is 15,647, which actually surprisingly sits close to the last season's LG G2. The next and final test that we have is Geekbench 3, and here are the multi and single core scores for this device. So now onto the accessories that this phone comes with. It obviously arrives with a charger and a USB to micro USB cable, and these alleged quote unquote premium earphones. So LG also include different size ear tips for them. So going on to the software side of things, LG have released this new knock code whereby you do not have to enter a PIN code. You simply knock in the designated area the pattern you chose as your code, and it works the same way. First of all, let's go into the settings. You actually have some interesting settings like the one here, where you can change the button combination on your G3's home touch buttons. We also have the notification LED section, where you don't really have as much control over the colors of the LED as some people maybe want. I would definitely recommend that LG do something about this. You also have the ability where you can change the height and some of the layout of your keyboard, which I found pretty cool. When you swipe down from the top, we have the Quick Memo Plus app, which takes a screenshot and gives you the ability to draft over it. The G3 also has QSlide, where you can run 2 programs simultaneously. Right next to the one on the left, we have the option whether for NFC to stay turned on or not. And of course, if you get to the end, you can change all of these in what order they appear and what applications to have present. Also, I noticed a slight delay when sometimes clicking on one of the home touch buttons. However, that can all be fixed through software updates. One other thing I noticed is that sometimes when you swipe from the home screen to any other screens, you get this lag, which can sometimes be very annoying. You also get occasional lag spikes when playing games, but overall nothing major. I actually installed Nova Launcher a couple of days ago, and throughout my experience I have witnessed zero lag when transitioning between home screens, which shows that the lag issue can be fixed through software updates most likely. So all around, the LG G3 is a great phone. However, as of right now, I wouldn't recommend you purchase it due to the rear facing camera issues and the occasional lag. But if you are patient and can put up with those limitations, then all around, build quality wise, this phone is amazing, and the camera shoots 4K if or when LG get it fixed. If you made it this far, thanks for watching this video, and make sure you comment about what flagship phone you're rocking right now. Make sure you subscribe, follow me on Twitter at TechCheck27 and Instagram for more on the G3. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.